Hey everybody, how you doing? Scarpad's Domain with you tonight, honoring a special film, what I think and others think is the best film of 2023. And let's bring in my co-host, the man with the most. It's Dylan. How you doing, Dylan?
Man who begged you to do this too.
Now, it's interesting. We did already do the Godzilla X Kong review when that came out, but we never did this. Of course, I think we were going to wait for the home video review, which never came. It did go on Netflix, of course, dropped on digital finally, but yet to come to the States on any kind of physical media. But I suspect around Christmas it will probably be out,
Yeah.
But it's been out. It came out in Japan already. Unfortunately, that version only has a Japanese soundtrack, and now this film has been released, of course, originally in color. Then they released a black and white version of it.
Yeah,
and then finally, when
the color though.
Yeah, no one's streaming the black and white. You can buy the black and white, separately, but there's no way you can stream a black and white. And Netflix is the only one that has a actual English dub, along with other languages, and we'll talk about that. Now, this movie, I loved this. I saw this movie like 3 times in the theater. I saw it twice in color, once in black and white, and then, of course, I saw it on Netflix another time on video. So I've seen this movie about 5 times. Still think it's probably the best Godzilla movie ever, even better than the 54, I think. The 54 is good, the original 54, not the Raven Berger 54, but the Gojira. I still think it's a little bit better than that. Because this movie basically is a Japanese post-war movie that happens to have Godzilla in it. Because it deals with Japan, who, after the war, was literally left with nothing. They couldn't have any ships, armies, bombs. That's why in the movie you see him collecting the mines. They were left with having zero, nothing. And then Godzilla comes to take away even more, and hence the title Godzilla -1. And this movie works on several levels, not only as a post-war type movie, but also as a monster movie, a romantic movie with the little girl and the woman that's raising her. So it works on so many different levels. It did great at the box office, earning over like $100,000. It was a big surprise. And then it did win the Japanese equivalent of the Academy Award in Japan. This movie is supposed to have been made for between 15 and 35 million. But whether it's 15
in the States too.
Yeah, whether it's 15 or 35, it kind of shows up the US, who spends 200 million and don't get a movie that's even close to this. Look at Godzilla X Kong, which has a lot of ridiculous crap.
It was 15 million, and look at how incredible it looks. And they spent 200 million on fucking all these other movies, and you could clearly see the CGI and all that.
Yeah, the effects, to me, we discussed this. We'll discuss the effects, but, what makes this movie really work, I think, is the characters. Not only the main lead that is haunted by the war, haunted by the fact that he was a failed kamikaze, and that he let all those guys on the island die when Godzilla struck, because he couldn't bring himself to kill the dinosaur then. It's a redemption story for him, and then it's also a story of him and the family he creates after that, but then not being able to shake the war. We're introduced to a whole cast of characters who run that boat, collecting the mine, the captain, the scientist, the young guy. Sure, the caricatures, they're in all the Godzilla movies, but they were really done really well here. Throughout the movie, they talk about the Japanese mindset, how they let their pilots die, they made them kamikaze, they made them do atrocious things. They used them in the war, like every war does. And there's some of that commentary in there as well. But just the scenes we get with Godzilla are astounding. That we've never seen before. Where they're hunting him in the water, and when he's like the opening scene shows when he's nuking the city. Just some fantastic stuff. And then it does ultimately end up in a redemption story because he does finally put the war behind him and become the guy he always wanted to be at the end of the movie. You saw this? Did you see it more than once in the theater? Just once?
Just once. I went on like an early access. Like my Cinemark sometimes will do Wednesday. Like now, remember it always used to be Friday. Now we get Thursday. Like afternoon they start putting these movies out. But they had a Wednesday showing and XD, and I was like, man, I gotta go check this out. And I absolutely this is one absolutely must see in XD. The sound in this is incredible, but yeah, man, I absolutely, and I've never gone to see like a fully subtitled movie in the theaters, like especially by myself. I was so hyped for this, man, and I absolutely loved it. I regret so bad not going and seeing the black and white in theaters again. I thought I didn't think we were gonna wait this long to get it on digital, and I thought we would have got it so much sooner. So I was like, I love it, but a lot of stuff was coming out at that time too. So I was like, I'll wait,
Yeah, that was the first of the year, January, February.
I wish, man, we would have gotten I would have went to go see the black and white.
The black and white was great because it wasn't just they just turned the color off. He regraded the whole movie so that you get the different shades of gray and actually looking like what a black and white movie would have looked like if it had been filmed in black and white. So they did a great job with that. Before we get too deep into it, let's say hello to some of the people in the chat.
Not Near Mint was asking about Shin Godzilla or something. And he said he just watched the dubbed version but hasn't watched the subbed yet.
Will definitely be done by that point. So, I mean, I really enjoyed the black and white version of the movie. But where they also did a great job is, when you watch a movie that's been dubbed, usually it's horrible. I mean, usually the acting is terrible. Like the acting in this was, they found actors that were pretty close in the vocal tones, and these actors actually acted, and the dialogue was kept faithful to the original. So I thought the dub was actually fairly good for this movie.
That's one of the best dubs I think I've ever heard, to be honest. It was done really well. Maybe that's why it took a while, because I'm guessing they did the dub after, especially when how big the movie was. But
absolutely.
Yeah. And this is one too where normally you don't give a shit about the characters. You're just there for the monsters. But this movie had great, humans in it, especially the main guy. And that relationship that rocky relationship with that female.
Mm-hmm.
And then how he starts to take care of this little orphan girl, and just like the effect that the bomb and all that had, and the attack on Godzilla, what that did to all these people, and I just thought it was incredible, dude. I think the whole movie, man, is just it was by far the best movie of 2023. Was it? Yeah, this came out in 2003. Yeah, not 2012. But I mean, Godzilla. This is my all-time favorite looking Godzilla too. I mean, this is just the perfect looking Godzilla. He's mean as hell looking, just so fucking cool, dude. I mean, they just nailed this, man. And in theaters, the effects, dude, just look so good, man. I mean, that scene when Godzilla's like stalking this like fishing boat, like kind of like a jaw, like I was getting like Jaws homage to that.
Well, I think I saw. Yeah, I know, but I think I saw the head. It was a head, like a prop, and then I think you can kind of see where the sled is in the back.
In the trailer, I told you that because I was like, dude, I think they're using practical effects, bro.
Yeah.
Because there was a scene where you can like see this big ass head, and it looks practical, and I was like, oh my god, dude, they're like actually using practical effects. Because I mean, normally they're just gonna use fucking CGI if we're talking. I mean, you think they made anything practical in Godzilla X Kong? Hell no, man. Those fucking people are staring at fucking nothing when they're talking to these animals.
Yeah, it's not as much as man in suit like the old ones were, but but it still was done pretty well. I did say though, I thought the movie the actual CGI effects look better on the big screen when you get them on a screen where you can see the whole image as opposed to when in a movie when you're kind of like picking and choosing where you're looking. I thought some of the CGI didn't look quite as good.
I also think that could be because of the HD. Because on Netflix, I've never seen this happen. This movie got a 4K release in Japan. But if you go on Amazon, all these places, it says HD, not 4K HD. Like, what the fuck? Nothing comes out in HD anymore. So I think for some reason that could be having an effect on it. I want to, like, when the 4K comes out, I want to compare it.
Yeah, well, if anything, I think it would look 4K is going to show more up than HD would hide more. I would think.
Are they downscaling it with the freaking HD?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's just HD because you don't pay for the 4K Netflix. You got to pay extra for that. Otherwise, you get HD.
No, I told you on Amazon Prime, it's the only way to buy it is HD or SD.
Because on Apple iTunes, they have 4K. It's on 4K.
That's the only place. That must be the only place that has 4K. Because if you go look on Prime, I was like, what the? And then Prime is also no dub, only subtitles. But how weird.
I mean, it's people ask about how about Shin Godzilla. I like Shin Godzilla, but Shin Godzilla was more of a movie about the Japanese society and how they dealt with like disasters. It had a neat, interesting Godzilla in it because he came up from like the primordial ooze and grew into the being. So that was kind of interesting, but it's a lot slower than this, and that story is nowhere near as good. It was okay, but this was a lot better than Shin Godzilla.
This is a masterpiece, dude.
And, I mean, just the direction, the acting, the story was phenomenal.
Yeah, the music, the score, the sounds, the Godzilla sounds. They add like a little bit of new stuff to Godzilla. Like he has like kind of new regeneration powers that I've never seen. I think you told me we've
kind of seen that, and we've seen that in some of the movies. He's done that in the movies in the past. In the Godzilla movies,
you told me before that it was new.
No, Godzilla versus Biollante, where he was fighting the plant, his cells grow.
Well, it would make sense because like lizards lose their tail and it grows back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and plus he's full of nuclear energy and stuff. So,
but I did like too, like when he would instead of like atomic breath, it was more like an atomic breath bomb. You know what I mean? That was dope as hell. I really liked that.
Yeah, it was like an atomic explosion.
Like it came out like breath, but then when it hit, it was like boom. I thought that was absolutely awesome, dude. I mean, if this went back out to theaters, I would probably go see it, honestly. And because I regret so hard not being able to see the black and white. It was just such a great theater experience.
Yeah. I really hope they show when it comes over here. I hope they release it with the black and white. You never know.
I know.
What are they gonna do over here? But
seriously, they'll be like,
you can buy it, I guess, if you
could
want.
just buy black and white on digital. Like, no, they better have both versions.
Yeah, I think it'll be it'll be on the disc. Yeah. So I guess who's your favorite character in the movie, and what's your favorite scene?
Man, favorite scene would definitely be Godzilla like chasing that boat, man. I love that, man. He just looks so cool and menacing, and then just kind of because you see in the beginning, like when he attacks those, the one soldier, and then all the, the engineers that that fix planes, they kind of go like that. He's smaller at that stage, and then he gets bigger, So it's cool to kind of see like him at a certain size, and then years later you get that scope of like how much bigger he's grown. So I thought that was awesome, and I just love him like in the water, like swimming and just going after them. And then you get those cool what is it, those like battlefield ships just trying to hit him. But favorite character, it'd be tough, man, because I love that the main character, but even the woman's really good, man. I'll save the guy for you because you probably want to take the guy, but the woman's great, because just their relationship, where he like is like, get out of here, like, I don't, you could, oh fine, you could spend the night, and then just time goes on and they get this relationship, and she kind of like fights her way in there because she has nowhere to go, and then she kind of forces this kid that's not even hers, but she takes ownership of, and then kind of forces it on him too, and then they become this family like over time, and it's actually like really beautiful because I mean I really believe like shit like that really happens back there too, because like in Japan and China, like they have places that don't even like, they have stores and stuff that don't have clerks in it. Like they just trust people to just buy it, grab whatever they need, and leave. Like there's cameras in there, but they trust their people enough to just buy what they need and go. They don't even need clerks.
Well, like, I mean, Japan is big on family, so it's not surprising.
That's what I'm saying. Like they take care of each other, you know.
Especially during the war, when
after a time like that, you know what I mean? Like you could see like it was kind of nice to see them like come together, and yeah, I just
I would say my favorite character is probably going to be the scientist, either the scientist or the captain of the boat. Either one of those two guys.
Dude, those guys on the boat were hilarious, man.
But yeah, the scientist.
There's a good couple chuckles in it.
Yeah, and they're good characters, they're interesting characters. Everybody look at the scientist as his little crazy, but he ends up like, he's the guy they put in charge of everything.
Right.
And then another good character is the guy who is the engineer that gave him the pictures of the guys that he didn't save, and the guy that hated him beat the crap out of him, and he ends up putting the ejection seat in the plane so he can save his life at the end.
That was the one thing that I knew was coming, and that gave me like Batman or the Dark Knight Rises vibes. Because when he says that, I was like, are they gonna pull like a Dark Knight Rises in this, where it's like, oh no, there's no ejector, and then he's like, but I built you one, and they save it for like the twist.
Well, yeah, it would be. I mean, you just expect him to go ahead and kamikaze himself.
Exactly. But I like
the war, but then he finds himself, now that he's
because they don't say it. They're like, oh no, there's no ejector, and then he does this, and then you're like, he did put the ejector.
Well, there's no ejection seat to the kamikaze plane. The whole point was to crash into things.
Yeah, well, I know
you did eject.
I'm saying, but he adds one in it, so that I just thought that's like the part of the twist. You know what I mean? But
yeah, they showed afterwards. And the only thing that's a little cheesy in the movie, but I give him props. I let slide because it's such a good ending, is the fact that the woman does survive.
Yeah,
and
I was surprised by that.
The way that everything got vaporized. There's no way in God's green earth that she would live.
I know that was. I was like, no way, because I thought that was kind of like going to be like, oh, like now he's going to have to take care of this kid on his own.
Right.
So that would have been kind of cool, but
sad. They go with a little happy ending, but it's okay. I let it slide. It was good. It was a good ending.
What's your favorite singing?
probably the when Godzilla's coming after the boat for the first time. Yeah. That's probably the whole idea behind the movie, though, is that
Japan ending, though. The ending, we gotta talk about like the ending with Godzilla.
What would they kill him or don't kill him?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of a riff. That was a kind of a redo on the original Godzilla, which in that movie they used something called an oxygen destroyer to take all the oxygen out of the water, and that destroys Godzilla. In this one, they have a plan to sink him, bring him to the surface fast so that he gets the bends and gets and then they could destroy him.
Yeah.
And it didn't obviously work because you hear him at the end, like it never works. I was okay with that. That was all right.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of the movie was that Japan after the war was a fragmented country, all divided. People were divided. They were scattered. We had dropped the atomic bomb on 2 cities, decimated everybody. This movie was them coming back together at the end when the kid brought all the boats back so that they all could pull the wire and lift Godzilla up so he'd freeze. That was Japan coming back together again. That was the whole point of that. Yeah. The whole point of the movie in the end. And I thought they did a good job with that.
Yeah, I remember, though, when they killed him, my jaw was just on the ground. And I was like, oh, my God, that was so awesome. And then just like, when they do the happy ending and then they cut and then you see in the water him sinking and bubbling and regenerating. With that music, though, I was like, oh.
Yeah, well, and that's another thing the movie did really well.
I thought this was going to be a one-shot. And then I was like, there could be a sequel.
Well, it is a one-shot. I mean, they always be
just a one-shot.
Well, of course, they're going to make more Godzilla movies, so they always have Godzilla in the end.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie.
But it doesn't mean they always make Godzilla movies, but it's cool to leave it like it's a one-shot, but it leaves it open to maybe we could get a sequel to this because that's what I'd want is a sequel to this.
I don't think we'll get a sequel to this, but I think we'll get some other movie with him in it.
Yeah, but the guys who made this, man, I love the team that did this, man.
Yeah, well, maybe they might direct it. It'll be a whole different story, I think.
Yeah.
And the thing is that they use the Godzilla theme sparingly, and when they use it, it's effective.
Yeah.
So
it's so effective, man. That's one of my favorite things is the music in this, man. The score, it's just so good, bro. That's an XD theater. Just this was one that.
Well, the guys will change. I know because we got another stream. We're gonna be showing Joe Bob over on Cake in a few minutes. I'm gonna give it a 5 all day. I love this movie. I think it's great. Best Godzilla movie, in my opinion, I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
The same 5s.
5 all day.
2 guns saying 5, and I agree absolutely.
Joe Bob talks for the first 20 minutes. You act like
that's okay. That's all right. We'll get it from the beginning. So. All right, guys. Well, we just thought we'd come in here and do a quick 30-minute stream because I know everybody else wants to go watch Joe Bob.
You and Tuga.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so we will catch you guys tomorrow night for a review of Phantoms and Dylan's show, which we watched last night.
I heard Affleck's the bomb in it.
That's what I heard, but we'll talk about it. All right, guys. We will catch you later. Have a good night. We'll hope you come over to Kick and watch some Joe Bob with us.
Yes, sir. And go check out Godzilla -1 if you haven't, man. Highly recommend it. And turn that fucking speaker system up while you watch it.
Turn it up. Later, guys.
Yeah. I don't know what you just did there.